Hello everyone, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. Got a different video for you today. I am hooking up live on Zoom with Terence Hughes. Hello Aaron, how are you?
I'm excellent, Chris. Nice to see you.
The reason that we're doing this over Zoom is that you're not in the country, so where are you?
I'm in Mexico City.
How long are you over there for?
I'm over here for another 35 days, and then I'm back in the UK.
In around about 12 months' time. Fingers crossed, all going well.
Yes.
We may have a new collaborative release that we're working on, which is the purpose of this video, to let all the viewers know that we are working on another fragrance.
Yes, absolutely. The original Smoulder was it was like immense. Yeah, it was immense. I've never known anything like it.
And this sold really well for you, didn't it?
It sold out. We couldn't keep up with the amount that it sold. It was completely and utterly. We just didn't think. Well, I never know with the release, but that one was like amazing and immense and surprising. And hopefully we'll have more staff next time to be able to work a little bit quicker. But kind of, it was still like, yeah, amazing.
Well, Smoulder means a lot to me.
Yes.
And had a great experience working on it with you. And I wanted to do something else with you. We'd had a little discussion, hadn't we, that we wanted to do something. And I felt like I wasn't quite ready to move away from Smoulder yet. I didn't feel like Smoulder was something I was ready to completely say goodbye to. I also love the fact that the original Smoulder was a limited release, and we did as we said, and we just released it in a limited quantity. When it's gone, and it went pretty fast, which was amazing. So I was thinking, shall we do a sequel to Smoulder? Shall we do a Smoulder 2? And to my surprise, you actually were really excited about the idea. So you're up for it?
Absolutely. It's I mean, I love working, I love developing. It's kind of my purpose, what I love doing, and I think it would be awesome. I think the first one was such a success and was so well received and so well loved. I always think I can do better. I always think I can improve what I've done. I've never think I've completed what I've done and I can sit back. So I love a challenge, and I think it would be working with someone else. I think much more challenging than working by yourself, because kind of like you have to take someone else's opinion into account when you're designing it. But yeah, I love the idea of a challenge. I think it's going to be awesome.
So I guess technically this is going to be a flanker. This video, we just want to, like we did with the first Smoulder, we had an initial conversation about some of the very initial ideas that we both had, and we wanted to make this video to put it out there to let the viewers know that there's a new fragrance coming. That it is going to be a sequel to Smoulder. It will still have the Smoulder name, and just bring in the viewers and your customers as well a little bit in on the development process. We're just going to quickly discuss a couple of ideas, a couple of thoughts that I've had about what I would like to do with the second version of Smoulder, and so we'll just have a little chat about that. One of the things that I was quite keen to do was, as much as the feedback for Smoulder was overwhelmingly positive, one of the very, very slight things that I heard a couple of times, and I personally think this is a good part of the fragrance, but I just thought it was something that I wanted to look at just tweaking and changing a little bit. My thoughts were, rather than building it around the citrus opening, how about having that energy built around spices? So maybe something like, cardamom, ginger, maybe cloves. How would that work as an opening?
With the spices, you have to be quite careful with how you work them in, because ginger, I've worked with ginger. It's quite difficult compound to work with smoke. If you sort of think, if you're taking the smoky aspect and then you're adding ginger to it, it kind of can be a little bit jarring.
Right.
It would work, but if you want to use more spices, cinnamon, ginger, clove, in a citrus-based fragrance, it kind of doesn't work. It kind of it's too much. If you think we use lemon in it and we use all those sort of things, it kind of could be a bit too much and a bit too fresh, and it could be a bit too with the tobacco as well. So if you kind of you still wanted to use tobacco, tobacco's your
Yeah, what I want to do is keep the sort of the character of Smoulder that's sort of forged into the heart of that fragrance. Try and keep that, but just tweak a few things around it. So it's not the same fragrance, but a little bit different. I want it to be recognizably Smoulder, but different enough to be a completely standalone fragrance on its own.
What would work is doing more like, because what always goes well with tobacco, which we didn't do, and what would work with smoke and ginger is adding vanilla and turning it to vanilla and tobacco is kind of like
Very good.
insanely popular, you know, and they go together really well. So what is more, and kind of I need to be excited to do this, and kind of flankers to me are sometimes they can be a bit disappointing. You know, you kind of get it and you kind of think, you know, it smells too similar. And I always like flankers to be different but the same, if that kind of makes sense. You could, I mean, what I think would work and kind of what I think would make people die and be resurrected for this whole project, if you did like a really good vanilla, tobacco, ginger, cinnamon, now that would work, and smoke it out. That absolutely work. And you would be the smokiness to it, and then you could add lemon to it as well. So that immediately in my mind is kind of what would be very, very exciting. Heavy duty. But
I agree. Heavy duty. That does sound exciting.
Yeah, and more sort of like heavier sort of concentration. That's where it let you in. I prefer on my skin heavy duty fragrances that sort of radiate off. And I would love to build this more like vanilla, tobacco, ginger, cardamom work, and all those sort of things work more with sort of Middle Eastern sort of style. You see, in this period I've been developing, citruses I can do, but I don't really enjoy them because I don't wear them. So they take months. But more of these sort of like Middle Eastern vanilla, tobacco, that's spices. That's maybe what would work. And I think I got more confidence in that. And I think I love that idea more: tobacco, vanilla, ginger, cardamom, spices, a little bit, but not.
Yeah.
Slightly sort of reminiscent of sort of like spice markets in it, because that works with tobacco. Bit of fruit molecule. I love fruit molecules. A little bit of
dried fruits, maybe some dates, something like that. Yeah.
Dates, spices, tobacco. And I think, okay, I'm going a bit tingly from that. That I think would be not a lot of patchouli in it. Patchouli can make things smell a bit too dark. So keeping it light, but put at the core being the tobacco, the spices, that I think that would be insane. And I know that would work more like with what I love to do and with kind of what you love as well, you know, that heavy, juicy spices and tobacco. But I want to say, like, it wouldn't be like, you know, people like the first Smoulder, it wouldn't be like, it would be taking the tobacco and what I'm going to do is take the tobacco and the smoke and the bit of the citrus in there, and then take that, which I liked, but add on vanilla, spices, tobacco, going for more of a Middle Eastern sort of like thing. I love that sort of fragrance.
Me too.
I think
that sounds amazing. I'm really excited now. This is the first time we've mentioned this, and I'm really feeling it. I've got to tell you, like, I want to smell it. I want to smell it tomorrow.
Yeah, me too. And I know I could build that as well. So that one to me is more within line of what I love to do and what I'm very good at, and what I feel more accomplished and confident with, and that I could build. Yeah, because if we're taking the original fragrance and kind of adding it, it gets a little bit sort of like tricky. Whereas this, I kind of know what I can do with it. Clean as well. With these sort of like tobacco-y fragrances, they need to be clean. They need to have a clean backbone. Otherwise, it smells really dirty, and kind of it needs to be clean backbone with all of that sort of permeating through it. I think would be excelente.
Yeah, me too. The other thought that I had, I love a Gourmand, and I wouldn't want to make an out-and-out Gourmand fragrance, but I wondered about maybe just including a little Gourmand note in there. And I liked the idea of, and giving you the challenge as well, of creating an accord of a dessert. And the ones that I had in mind potentially to try and think about are something like maybe a creme brulee note, a tiramisu note, a bit of coffee, bit of booze. Maybe one of my favorite desserts is the pastel de nata, the Portuguese custard tarts. You know, that patisserie pastry vibe always goes well. It might not be possible, but I just thought it might be kind of cool to have that, an accord of one of my favorite desserts in there. And I think that sweetness may
delicious.
make it even more of
Delicious.
crowd pleasing compliment.
I agree. I've developed a rum accord as well, and I don't know if rum would work in it. I don't know, because I've it's something when you get in development, either it does or it doesn't. These sort of like boozy notes, they kind of, you don't really know till you do it. For me, crowd pleasing tobacco fragrances are light and airy, substantially tobacco, vanilla, with sort of small amounts of these sort of spices and smoke. If it's too much of the smoke and spices, it's unpalatable, and it smells like, you don't want it to smell like a tobacco or a food shop. You kind of want it to be vanilla, tobacco, spices at the core. So as you go down through the journey, that's what I liked about this Smoulder. It changed as it went down. It sort of became different things. And that's what I love as well. Yeah, very exciting. You haven't said the name, Chris.
We haven't said the name. So we talked about a few things. I was seriously thinking about Smoulder too for a while.
Yes.
And then you came up with a name, and as soon as you said it, I just went, yeah, that's it. Let's do that. It sounds good. We are calling this Smoulder Elixir.
Yes, excellent.
So Smoulder Elixir was, and it's interesting what you were saying about booze, because I had another point of, I love booze and fragrances, rum, cognac, whiskey. So I thought it might be worth just trying a little bit of a boozy note. If you've been developing a rum, I think the rum would go really well into that composition with the dried fruits, with the tobacco, the vanilla. So I think, yeah, definitely let's have a version with some rum in, and or whatever booze, and see if we can create a nice bit of booziness.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and if I can do it, so this is all down to if I can do this, because perfume development takes as long as it takes, and you can't rush it. Some come together fast, like the original Smoulder was the first one, but this could take as long as it takes. So I don't want people to hold me to this, because it may take longer. It kind of whatever it is. We'll do September Smoulder month again. So September 23. So that, if I can do it, and if you like it and it passes all its regulatory paperwork, all of that, it will be, that's what we're going to do. I'm excited about this now. I kind of like putting in vanilla and tobacco and spices. I think would be really, really like amazing. And I think it would, yeah.
Now I know a lot of people missed out on the Smoulder release because it was limited, so not everyone got one. I get a lot of messages from people who've come into the fragrance community since the release of Smoulder, so I've heard all about it, seen our videos, but I've never got a chance to buy it. So as a nice gesture to your customers and to my viewers, we're going to offer the first 100 people that purchase Smoulder Elixir a free 10ml of the original Smoulder. So the first 100 people who purchase Smoulder Elixir will get a free 10ml of the original Smoulder.
Excellent. Superb.
All right. Well, so I think that pretty much covers everything. We talked. I think we're on a good track there with the direction we're going to follow. I think you're excited about a few things. I always makes me super happy to see you getting excited, because that's when you admit this is when you do your best work, when you're excited.
Yeah, I know how to do this. I'm confident with doing this. I'm really confident doing this. I could can't see. I'm just gonna go and do this. I know I can do it. So so the next video will be when I bring the submissions, and we'll see. And I bring one with booze, and I bring one normal, and then I bring a few additions, and then we'll see. And I'm really excited to.
Me too. Right. I didn't expect to be quite so excited by the end of this.
No, not me, but there you go.
Here we go. Let's end the call. We don't want the video to be too long. Aaron, over there in Mexico, thanks so much
thank you, Chris,
hooking up with me and having a chat. It's been good to have you as always.
Thank you, Chris. See you soon.
See you soon, Aaron. Take care. Bye.
Chris.
All right, so that's it. That wraps it up for this video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're as excited about Smoulder Elixir as me and Aaron are. We can't wait to start working on it and try to find a fragrance that is equally as good as the original Smoulder. All right, like if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow Aaron's excellent channel, and if you do all that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.